Leo friends, something big is shifting. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. And if you're watching this, that alone tells me one thing: you're already feeling it. The energy. The pull. That whisper in your chest saying, something's about to break open. And I need to be ready. This video was created with one purpose: to help you understand that October won't just be another month. It will change everything. Not slowly, not quietly. Like an avalanche, money, blessings, and momentum are about to come crashing into your life. And not because you stumbled into luck, but because the universe has finally decided it's time to pay you back. If you're anything like most Leos I know, you've been holding it together with pride, even when things have felt like they're falling apart behind the scenes. You show up for others. You sacrifice. You keep going, even when it feels like no one sees what you're really carrying. That stops here. That changes this October. You didn't land on this video by mistake. The universe doesn't do random. It nudged you here because something in your soul is aligned with this exact message. Maybe it's because you've been praying for clarity. Maybe you've been quietly asking for a breakthrough. Or maybe you're just tired of pretending you're fine when what you really need is a sign that it's all going to be worth it. So let me say this loud and clear: October is your month. Your financial momentum is building. The silence is breaking. And what comes next will not be small. I'm not here to hype things up just to make you feel better for 10 minutes. I'm here to tell you the truth as I see it through the alignment of the stars, the messages I've received in deep meditative clarity, and the energetic patterns of this season. October for Leo is not light. It's not soft. It's loud, bold, undeniable. Just like you. This energy is not maybe. It's not someday. It's now. What I see coming is a wave. A financial release. Recognition. That promotion you gave up on hearing about. That person who said no, but is now circling back with a new offer. The thing you started and thought was a failure, it's not dead. It's blooming, and you're about to see why it had to take so long. But before we go any further, I want to ask you for something simple. Comment below and write, "I'm ready to receive the avalanche coming in October." This isn't for me. It's for you. Words activate energy. Writing it down plants the seed. That one sentence could be the moment the shift begins. And listen, thank you. Thank you for being here. Every time you like, share, comment, or subscribe, you help this community grow, and that means more Leos like you get to hear the words they need at the moment they need them most. You being here. It matters more than you know. So stay with me until the end of this message. Because what the universe is about to reveal to you, Leo, is extraordinary. And it has your name on it. Now tell me, what drew you here today? What inside you knew that this was the message you had to hear? Let's find out together. If you're still with me, Leo, then deep down you already sense what I'm about to say. This isn't just any season. Something about October feels louder, sharper, like the air itself is charged. And there's a reason for that. Astrologically, you're standing at a cosmic intersection, one that doesn't open often and almost never with this level of precision. Right now, Venus, the planet of beauty, love, and value, eyes dancing in rhythm with Jupiter, the bringer of expansion, wealth, and grace. This doesn't happen quietly. It stirs something inside you. It lights up areas of your chart related to recognition, money, and your voice being heard again loud and clear. Combine that with the sun's natural rulership over your sign, and what you have is not just a window of opportunity, but a golden door wide open, waiting for you to walk through. I've looked at hundreds of charts. I've seen transits come and go. But this energite hits differently. It's personal. It's divine timing, not just good luck. And you felt it building, haven't you? That restlessness. That frustration. The sense that you've been running at full speed just to stay in place, or maybe even slowly slipping backward no matter how hard you try. That's because you weren't being delayed. You were being prepared. Sometimes we confuse stillness with being forgotten. We think silence means the universe isn't listening. But stillness is often the most sacred part of the process. It's where roots grow. It's where pressure builds before the breakthrough. And Leo, your breakthrough isn't coming, it's already started. Quietly. Beneath the surface. Like the first tremble before an avalanche breaks free. And now that energy is rising. And so are you. Let me tell you something I've learned not just from the stars, but from walking beside people through their hardest seasons. You can't skip the part where you almost give up. It's the tension and the waiting that shapes your capacity to carry what you've prayed for. Because anyone can want more. But to actually hold it, to sustain it, you have to be strong enough to live in the new story you're asking to step into. The law of attraction isn't just about asking for what you want, it's about becoming the version of yourself who knows how to receive it. And that's exactly what these past few months have done for you. Every disappointment wasn't punishment, it was pruning. Every delay wasn't rejection, it was redirection. You weren't stuck. You were being recalibrated. And now, the wheel is turning. And this time, it's turning in your favor. This is where many people miss the miracle. They think it'll come with flashing lights or loud applause. But divine timing is rarely flashy. It's precise. It whispers first, not shouts. And for those who are paying attention, those who are attuned to the deeper currents of their own becoming, it's unmistakable. That's what you are now, unmistakable. October isn't about waiting for something to happen to you. It's about partnering with what's already been set in motion for you. You're not here to hope for magic. You're here to align with it. Because Leo, you're not just being asked to watch the wheel turn. You're being invited to grab it, steer it, and own where it takes you next. So if something inside you has been whispering, "I'm ready," trust that. Because the door is open. And the next chapter doesn't require you to be anything other than who you are right now, raw, real, and willing. Go ahead, comment below and claim it. Say, "I'm stepping into what's mine this October." Not for me. For you. For your energy. For your future self who's already waiting, smiling, and whispering, "Finally. You made it." Now let's go deeper. Because it's one thing to say that change is coming and another to feel it, to name it, and to let it land. You've waited, Leo. You've held space for others. You've dreamed privately while showing strength publicly. And now, for the first time in a long time, the energy around you isn't asking you to wait. It's asking you to receive. Imagine this with me. It's a morning in October. Nothing feels particularly different. The sun is rising the way it always does. You grab your phone without thinking. And there it is, a message you weren't expecting. A payment cleared. A deal confirmed. A refund you'd forgotten about. Or maybe it's an offer from someone who once said no, now coming back with a very different tone. That's not fantasy. That's the pattern I'm seeing in your chart this month. The kind of alignment that brings things back from the dead. Projects you thought failed? They're waking up. Connections you thought were over? Reappearing with purpose. The wheel turned and now all the delays are turning into arrivals. Jupiter's influence is expanding what you once thought was out of reach. And when Jupiter partners with Venus the way it is now, especially under a Leo-activated sky, wealth doesn't trickle, it flows. And not always from where you expect. That's the beauty of it. It's not about you working harder or figuring it out. It's about letting the unexpected unfold, knowing that behind the surprise is something meant for you all along. If you've ever wondered why some people suddenly get lucky, this is that energy, but it's earned luck. The kind that shows up for those who stayed faithful to their gifts even when no one was clapping. The kind that rewards character, not just talent. That's you, Leo. Let's get practical for a moment. For some of you, the financial opening may come through a client who vanished suddenly returning with an apology and a check, an investment you made impulsively now doubling in value, a government, company, or institution releasing funds unexpectedly, or a collaboration finally reaching the phase where money actually lands. For others, it might look like a gift, a surprise inheritance, or someone simply feeling compelled to support you financially. Don't question it. Let it happen. Your job isn't to control how it arrives, it's to be ready when it does. This month, pay attention to the numbers you see. 777, 888. October 10th. Full moons. Repeating signs. These are not coincidences. They're energy markers, cosmic time stamps letting you know the gate is opening. And when it opens, it moves quickly. Avalanche energy doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It requires trust. Here's something I suggest, and it's simple, but powerful. Write down the exact amount of money you're open to receiving this month. Not what you think you deserve. Not what feels realistic. Write the number that feels just out of reach. But somehow right. Fold it. Keep it somewhere close. Let it serve as a frequency anchor. That number? It's not just digits, it's a symbol of permission. And don't forget your colors. Gold copper for magnetic strength. Deep royal purple for spiritual sovereignty. Orange red for creative fire. Wear them like armor. Let them help you move like someone who knows the money is already on its way. You've planted the seeds, Leo. October is not the time to dig them up and check. It's the time to watch them burst through the soil. Quietly. Then all at once. So what number are you holding space for this October? Write it in the comments below. Name it. Claim it. Let's anchor it together. One of the most powerful shifts I see for Leo this October isn't just about what's showing up in your bank account but what's shifting in your own sense of value. After all, money is rarely just about money. It's energy. It's reflection. And more often than not, it's how the world mirrors back to you what you've chosen to believe about yourself. Right now, there's a major astrological story unfolding around that mirror. With Saturn passing through the sector of your chart linked to discipline, career, and long-term building paired with the Eight of Pentacles in Tarot, it tells me one thing: your craft is no longer invisible. The universe is beginning to shine a light on the work you've been quietly mastering behind closed doors. The long nights. The unpaid hours. The trial and error projects no one saw but you. They're not going to waste. This is where the value of consistency starts to show its face. You know, it's easy to think of talent as something flashy. Something loud and obvious. But some of the most powerful people I've ever met didn't start out that way. They weren't the most talented in the room. But they were the most committed. They stuck with it. They stayed when it got hard. They didn't quit just because no one was clapping. And Leo, if that's been you, you're not behind. You're aligned. October is your opportunity to start owning that quiet brilliance. If you've been undervaluing your work, undercharging for your time, or shrinking your ideas to make others comfortable, this is your cue to stop. This isn't the month to be modest. This is the month to step into what you've built. Not with ego but with self-respect. Maybe it's time to update that portfolio. Maybe it's finally time to send that email introducing yourself to someone you've been watching from afar. Or to raise your rates. Or launch the thing you've been sketching in your notebook but haven't dared to share yet. Whatever it is, the message is the same: don't wait for someone else to give you permission to be seen. Walk into the light and declare your presence. You've done the work. The question now is, will you let the world see it? Let's take a moment here, just you and me. Think about what you've built, not just professionally, but emotionally, energetically, creatively. Think about what it's taken to get here. The version of you who started this journey wouldn't even recognize how strong you've become. That's not pride. That's truth. And that deserves to be honored. We often think that recognition comes when the world finally sees us. But in my experience, real shifts begin when we decide we're no longer available for being overlooked. You set the standard for how others value you. When you raise it, life meets you there. So here's what I want you to do. As soon as this video ends, choose one small thing to act on. Just one. Update something. Share something. Reach out. Not because you're desperate for approval but because you're finally done hiding. The world isn't always going to come knocking at your door, Leo. Sometimes, you are the knock. The opportunity isn't waiting out there. It's sitting inside you waiting to be claimed. So tell me in the comments, what gift or talent of yours deserves to be seen this month? Let's name it together. Let's make it real. By now, you've probably noticed something shifting, not just in your money or motivation but in your heart. That soft ache to be seen more deeply. That longing for connection that doesn't just soothe you emotionally, but expands you energetically. In astrology, we don't separate love from destiny or money from emotion. Everything is connected. And when the Ace of Cups and the Empress show up together the way they are now in your Leo reading, it means something sacred is unfolding. Something that has the power to heal both your heart and your finances at the same time. Let's be real, many of us have loved before and been hurt. We've tried to open up, only to feel like we gave too much and got too little in return. And over time, we learn to protect ourselves. We tell ourselves we're fine alone. We put all our energy into work, goals, survival. But deep down, we know that the right kind of relationship doesn't drain us, it multiplies us. That's the energy I see forming for you this October. This isn't about fantasy. It's about aligned connection. Someone whose presence feels like breath, not burden. Someone who sees your light, not your mask. And more importantly, someone whose life path doesn't compete with yours, it enhances it. A partner in energy, not just in name. Financial miracles are coming, yes. But what if one of the greatest doors that opens this month comes in the form of a person? Sometimes that person is new. Someone who walks into your world unexpectedly and changes the entire tone of your story. Other times, it's someone already in your orbit, but a new dynamic between you begins to emerge. A healthier one. A more empowering one. And occasionally, the partner that shows up is you. The version of you who is finally ready to stop negotiating your worth in exchange for attention. The version of you who's ready to receive love without feeling like you have to shrink, perform, or prove. This is where the law of attraction takes root on a soul level. It asks, what kind of love are you preparing yourself to hold? Not just emotionally, but energetically. And is your environment, both internal and external, ready to welcome it? Here's a small but powerful exercise. Take a blank page, and at the top, write these words: the person I attract into my life supports my expansion spiritually, emotionally, and financially. And then just write freely. Describe the energy of that connection. What it feels like to be supported without fear. What it's like to laugh, to create, to grow without sacrifice. Let it be soft. Let it be bold. Let it be yours. Because manifestation isn't always loud. It's often intimate. Quiet. A whisper from your soul that becomes a magnet for the kind of relationship that feels like home and forward motion at once. And when that connection occurs, don't talk yourself out of it. Don't question if it's too good to be true. Don't compare it to what went wrong before. Just breathe. Receive. Lean in. You've done the work. You've been doing the healing. Now comes the reward. So tell me in the comments, if you feel it too. I welcome a partner who loves me and helps me grow in every way. Say it like a seed. Say it like a prayer. Say it because you're ready. There's a moment in every journey when something shifts subtly at first, like the quiet hush before sunrise, but then powerfully, undeniably. For you, that moment is now. October brings a profound energetic activation, the time to awaken the inner emperor, the king within, and step into conscious creation of your reality. This isn't about arrogance or dominancy, it's about embodied leadership. And it begins by choosing, boldly, to own your life like a sovereign soul. You may have spent years just getting by, surviving the tides of emotion, the instability of income, or the pressure to please others. But the cards don't lie, the emperor arrives when you're ready to lead. And paired with the magician, that's a divine confirmation that what once felt impossible is now entirely within reach if you dare to believe it. This month, you are called to transition from dreamer to designer of your world. It starts with the decision to no longer wait for permission, but to build. What would it feel like to look at your finances not with fear, but with curiosity and power? To set a new budget not from restriction, but from reverence? Instead of thinking, I hope I have enough, try asking, how can I multiply what I already have? That's where the shift happens from scarcity to sovereignty. From just enough, to more than enough. Imagine your finances as a garden. Are you just watering weeds of worry, or are you planting seeds of wealth that will grow across seasons? It's not about working harder, it's about directing energy with wisdom. That's where passive income enters the picture. Something changes when you create systems that serve you even when you're sleeping. That's the emperor's way, not hustle, but strategy. Not burnout, but sustainability. But let's not pretend this is just about money. The true throne is internal. It sits in the core of your body, around your solar plexus, your center of confidence and command. When this area is blocked, we doubt. We delay. We defer our power to others. But when it's activated, something sacred rises. To support this, try a daily practice. Inhale deeply and imagine golden light flowing into your belly. Hold that breath and say silently, I am the source. Then exhale slowly, letting go of fear, of guilt, of ancestral patterns that say you must struggle to be worthy. You don't. You never did. This isn't just energy work, it's emotional healing. Because so many of us have been told, subtly or overtly, that wealth isn't spiritual, or that receiving is selfish. But if you feel called to impact others, wouldn't it make sense that the universe wants you to have the resources to do so? There is divine logic in your abundance. When you thrive, you shine a light that shows others what's possible. Your leadership becomes contagious. And this is where the magician brings in his message. He reminds you that you already have the tools. Not tomorrow now. You are not missing anything. You have the wand, the cup, the sword, the pentacle. All elements are at your disposal. But the magic only flows when you use them. So what are you waiting for? Ask yourself, what idea has been nudging at your spirit lately? What project have you postponed, thinking, one day? What if October is that day? What if your inner king doesn't need more signs, just a spark of courage? You see, when we shift into this space of ownership, our vibration changes. We attract differently. People respond differently. Opportunities once hidden begin to reveal themselves. Because the universe recognizes self-authority. It respects bold clarity. And when you say, I'm ready, it says, I've been waiting. So here's a gentle invitation, but also a firm one. Stop playing small with your money. Stop apologizing for your desires. Stop deferring your dreams until you're less tired or more certain. The time is now. October is not just another month. It's a sacred threshold. You can either walk through it awake and intentional, or stay in the loop of waiting and wishing. You already know which one your soul craves. And deep down, you know you're not here to observe wealth, you're here to embody it. Not just externally, but in every cell. In your posture. in the way you speak, in the energy you radiate. That is what creates change. That is what shifts lineage. So, breathe in gold. Stand tall like the emperor. Act with clarity like the magician. Speak your affirmations not just as hope, but as holy declarations. I am worthy of abundance. I choose ease. I welcome overflow. Your time has come in this month. It's not about asking the stars for permission. It's about declaring with your whole being, I am the throne. Sometimes, the universe doesn't shout. It whispers. And today, this entire message is a sacred whisper into your soul, reminding you that you were never forgotten, never abandoned, never behind. You were simply being prepared. For a month like October. A month where everything changes not by chance, but by divine design. October is not about waiting for a miracle to happen. It's about realizing that the miracle is already happening inside you. The avalanche of money is not a fantasy, it's a response to your alignment, your healing, your inner decision to finally stop playing small. Do you feel that shift stirring in your chest? That's not fear, it's power being reborn. You've walked through storms that others didn't even see. You've survived emotional winters in silence, while smiling on the outside. But the truth is every tear, every night you almost gave up, has become currency in your energetic bank account. And now, the withdrawal is ready. Let me remind you, the universe is not doing this for you. The universe is doing this with you. You are not being rescued, you are being activated. You're not waiting for the door to open. You are the key. October is the portal. And avalanche money is just the form of the abundance that has always been your destiny. But now comes your part. Will you open your hands and receive? Will you stop doubting the process that is already working? Will you say it out loud, I am ready for my new financial reality? If yes, type it in the comments now. Declare it. Not for me. For you. For your future self. For the younger version of you who prayed for this moment. For the thousands of Leo souls watching this video right now who just need one person to light the flame so they can believe again. Take a deep breath. Feel the frequency of this truth. You are no longer chasing wealth, you are becoming wealth. That avalanche? It's already moving. That miracle? It's already written. That breakthrough? It's already arriving. One aligned decision at a time. So if this message touched you, pause now. Like this video. Subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness if you haven't yet. And comment your affirmation below. This is how you anchor your transformation. This is how you step into flow. This is how you prove to the universe, I'm ready. And as your guide, I'll say it plainly, I believe in you. I've seen what's coming for you. And I know. October is the month you'll never forget. Because you, Leo. You are the miracle.